Hey there, welcome to day 13 of our No Nonsense November. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here from the Get Up and Go Challenge. Just an introduction and a reminder that we will be doing the fifth and final 30 plus day Get Up and Go Challenge on December 1st, right here on the Get Up and Go Challenge page, where we go through and we really internalize and put in our subconscious a framework, a strategy for dealing with any change, any challenge that ever comes our way that guarantees that we will be better off after having experienced that situation, that challenge, that obstacle, whatever, than before we had experienced it. I've been using it on COVID all year, and I gotta say, a lot of people are being bothered and challenged by COVID, by all of the political nonsense that's going on in the United States. And to me, right over my head, not really over my head, but in one ear and out the other for the most part. So today we're going to talk about letting go strategies. I can't say let it go without thinking of the Frozen song, Let It Go. I'm not going to sing it. Good grief. If I do that, everyone will be instantly turning off the video. But letting go strategies are one of the most powerful things you can do. Why? Because it allows us to deal with any negative situations, anything, even some positive situations, anything, any experiences, any feelings, any negative emotions, anything that is impacting us in our lives in a way that we don't want. So maybe you got bullied, maybe you got fired, maybe you've had trauma, maybe you've been challenged or had obstacles in trying to achieve a goal or doing something that you've wanted to do in your life, or you had an experience, or you're heartbroken. I've had all of these and much, much more, right? We all have. If you live long enough, you're going to experience so many things, both positive and negative, good and bad, in terms of how we interpret them. And one of the powerful things about letting go strategies and letting things go and putting them in the past and leaving them in the past is that each and every one of us has the power and the ability to do that. All we have to do is claim it. We just have to say, I'm going to deal with this in a way that makes me feel better or neutralizes any negative charge or emotions that are associated with this event or this experience or this challenge or this change, so that I can move forward with the best of me. So I can act now in a way that is in my own best interest, in my best interests moving forward. So what are some of the ways that you can do this? I've actually worked on this particular thing a lot in the area of limiting beliefs. And I don't know, several years ago, could have been over a decade ago now, I actually made a series of videos that I did some creative and fun ways of letting go of a limiting belief. So I think it was, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve. I think it was probably, I'm not good enough. And I did all kinds of fun things with it, and I videoed them. My favorite one, my very favorite one, was putting it on Post-it notes and then putting it all, ripping them up, putting them in a bucket and burning them in this little, you know, the buckets that beer comes in, or often if you order, like at a bar, you'll order you used to be able to order a bucket of beers, at least when I was a kid, or not a kid, when I was 18 plus, you could order a bucket of beers. So I had one of those buckets at my business, a little metal bucket. I took it out back of my shop, I called it my business, and I put all those torn up Post-its in it, and I lit that baby on fire. That was my most fun way of letting go of a limiting belief, letting go of a negative situation. I wrote it on toilet paper and flushed it down the toilet. I wrote it on toilet paper and threw it in the porta potty down at a place that I like to walk on the beach. What did I do? I wrote it on the mirror in dry erase markers, and then I sprayed on the foam cleaner and washed it off. I wrote it in the sand and let the river and the water wash it away, wash it out to sea. I put it on a dry erase board and erased it. So I wrote it in the sink in marker, and then I put soap in the sink, and I washed it down the drain. Things like that were funny and fun and symbolic to me, to try to get rid of this limiting belief once and for all. Now that worked for a limiting belief, but now, does that mean that the I'm not good enough doesn't pop up in my life still? Of course not. We can do all these things, and there's all kinds of sophisticated strategies and therapies and letting go things that you can do with professionals. I am not a professional. So I can only tell you based on what my experience has been with different strategies and different techniques I've learned over the years. So what are a couple more of these? So one is do creative things, physically do creative things to get over something. My other favorite thing is to actually, it involves visualization and imagery, is to go back, and if I look and think about an event, and I learned this from Tony Robbins, I go back and I change my memory of that event, right? Because when we visualize, the things that we imagine in our subconscious are just as real as the things we actually experience. So we can take a traumatic or negative experience and we can go back and we can alter it and rewrite history in our mind and our imagination, because we can never go back to the past, right? We can't change the past of what actually happened, but we always can change our reaction and our response and our interpretation of what happened. So I call this one rewriting history. And I actually have done this on a couple of traumatic things that have happened in my life. One was when I got fired from one of my jobs. Was pregnant with my daughter, got fired. It was super traumatic. It was handled in an unbelievably ridiculous way. And I carried that with me for a long time, and I relived that event over and over and over and over again, thinking about, remember, you have an experience and then after it's over, you think of all the things you should have said or you should have done or how you should have responded, but you didn't. I did that, and I was playing over and over and over in my mind, and I needed to stop that. So I decided I was going to use this technique that I'd learned from Tony Robbins to go back and rewrite history. So I started playing with that memory and doing fun things with it. You know, blowing up the person that fired me's appearance, making their head blow up like a big balloon and explode, because that's what the person looked like. They were all red in the face and being an absolute ridiculous jerk. And then the sound and the sights and the colors and the shapes, I just transformed that whole experience in my mind and made it so that it had zero emotional charge. And I did that. I played with that over and over and over again until it had like a neutral or no negative response for me. And so that's a quick explanation of rewriting history. You can act it out. You can act something out. You can write it out. You can rewind the film strip or rewrite the movie of past experiences or past traumas, or you can do it in the future too. You can not only do this with things in the past, but you can practice how you want things to be in the future. So you can not only use that strategy for letting go, but you can use it to create and intend how you want different situations to go. Really simple one I have when I need a spur of the moment thing is just a word. You have a word like cancel, stop, erase. So as soon as you notice that you're having a negative thought or a limiting belief, you're like cancel or stop or erase. But you have whatever word works for you. I've actually used them all. And sometimes I use all three and a whole lot of more and a whole lot of exploratives when I catch myself thinking in a way or feeling in a way that I just don't want to feel. I've been practicing this one a lot during this particular year with respect to COVID and rioting and unrest and manipulation by the media and absolute fake news coming out of our main media sources that they're calling news. I find myself a lot just saying cancel, turn it off, stop. I actually think I'm going to go on a media-free diet. I've been off the media since the 1980s, but of course, whenever a lot is going on, it tends to sneak into our lives. And social media, since I'm on social media every day doing live videos and then posting them, it sneaks in, and it's so insidious, the way that it's being presented by the social media platforms, and by the way news and information is presented by social media, by people that purport themselves to be reporters and news. And I find myself all day long, cancel, stop, turn it off, walk away, and letting things go, because there's so much unethical, irresponsible, treasonous, ridiculous behavior going on, and it needs to be called out and stopped, because it's destroying. I'm going to hang up on my sister. She's probably going to lecture me on something. All right, so another way, tell a different story. I don't even know if I said these now. Or act out and either in the past replay the scenes in your mind that have happened and have them go the way you want them to. And then just let them go. Once something has no negative emotions or reminders or connotations or negative charge on you, it doesn't have any power over you anymore in a negative way, which is what we're looking to do when we're letting things go, right? When we're releasing and just letting things go that aren't serving us anymore. Once you remove that negative charge, you find yourself not even thinking about it anymore. Like, I actually have to think hard to remember that being fired incident, because I used to think about it and I'd burst into tears. Now I'm like, whatever, it was the dumbest thing ever, and you know, their loss. So that's the point we want to get to, is that it just doesn't even faze us anymore. Love to know your letting go strategies. What do you do when you've experienced something and you just need to find a way to put that in the past and keep it in the past, and know that things that have happened in the past don't determine your future? Who I was in the past is very different than who I am now. And are there some things that I look back on and I just shake my head and think, God, did I really do it? Did I really say that? And I'm like, yeah, I did. Boy, what was I thinking? And I just let it go. All right, have an awesome day. I will be with you tomorrow with another No Nonsense November lesson or tool. A tool today. Our tool today is letting go. And I already decided when I was talking what our tool tomorrow is going to be, but I'm not going to tell you, because I want you to show up here and join me for No Nonsense November. Have an awesome day, and I'll be with you tomorrow.